Here we are, day 4 on Lake Tahoe. The weather just keeps getting more and more beautiful here. Take a look at how calm this water is. This is the calmest it's been setting out, and I'm gonna get some serious miles in today. Day 1 was 10 miles, day 2 was 15, day 3 I did the Tahoe Via, so I only did 12, but today I'm gonna try to get my high mileage, even if I exceed it only by a mile. I'm gonna try to get 16 in. The reason I'm going to try to go hog wild today is because I know tomorrow will be a light day in Emerald Bay, and I'll explain why Emerald Bay has to be a light day when we get to Wednesday. Beautiful day.
Gorgeous day.
If you are planning a trip to Lake Tahoe for the sole purpose of paddling, I would highly suggest going after Labor Day during the week. If you have to rent a boat, the rates may be a little bit less. And fighting all those power boats during peak tourist season is a nightmare. I'm here mid-September on a Tuesday afternoon, and I mean, look at this. Look how calm this is. There's not that many people around. I'm probably a good 3/4 of a mile, if not more, from shore, and I haven't been comfortable with the lack of boat traffic enough to go that far from shore this whole trip so far. Now, I'm going to knock on wood about the lack of wind, because that can change in a second in Lake Tahoe. So I probably don't want to be more than 3/4 of a mile to a half a mile offshore, just so I can get close to shore in case things get dicey. I have yet to use the spray skirt that came with this rental. I just feel like I haven't needed it. Off-peak season is definitely the way to go if you're going to come see Lake Tahoe, but I would suggest September over May, because the water in September is still only 62, 63 degrees. I can't even imagine how cold it would be before it has a chance to warm up over the summer. The water gets down to 40 degrees in the winter, a maximum high, at least so I've read, of 70 degrees, but I think we're far from that temperature here right now at the middle of September. In addition to traveling with that kayak cart that you saw the time-lapse video of me assembling and huffing up the hill, I also travel with my own PFD, because this is one of those slick ones with the CO2 cartridges in it. It inflates if it gets submerged, but I can also pull that and it'll inflate manually. And it's nice and slick and slim, and it takes up hardly any room at all in a suitcase. I can't stand cumbersome life jackets. I wear one more often than not now, but in years past, I just didn't wear them because they were so cumbersome and they make you so hot. This is really lightweight. It's got like, I'll show you. It's got like nothing on the back. Let me buckle it up again. And for a lot of people, myself included, means you're actually wearing it instead of just having it on the boat with you. The kayak cart collapses and fits nicely in a large size suitcase. Probably not a suitcase you're going to carry on, but if I'm gone for a week, I'm checking baggage anyway. Now, the other thing I travel with is my paddle. This is a all-carbon bent shaft 210 centimeter cadence paddle made by Lendl. This is a pricey thing to turn on over to the baggage handlers, so I bought a paddle bag and carried it on as my one carry-on item. Is it a little bit oversized? Yes. Some of the more janky airlines like Frontier and Spirit would probably give you crap about that, but I was on a not so full United flight on the way out here and nobody batted an eye. It fit fine in the overhead bin. I just made sure people's roller bags were stuffed in there first so I can place it on top and not worry about it getting squished. Since it's so calm today, I am really able to tell what this boat can do compared to the sea kayak at home that I'm used to. The fact that I'm paddling right here is about 2 inches wider than my current design's Solstice, and it's a whole lot heavier. I anticipated that this boat would be just a little bit slower than the sea kayak I'm used to paddling at home. Not tremendously, but since the last couple of miles have been so calm, I've been able to really see what this boat can do on flat water. And it's really only about 45 seconds a mile slower than my boat at home. And since I'm on vacation, what's 45 seconds? I'll trade that little bit of a longer mile for something that's a bit more stable in a lake that can be kind of unpredictable. This beautiful spot right here looks like a great spot to submerge the GoPro. Even though I almost don't need to, I mean, you can see how crystal clear this water is. There is no signs of life. I mean, there's no vegetation, there's no fish. I've never seen a fish. I've never seen a fish ever in Lake Tahoe. They're here. I mean, people do fish here. I don't know where they live, but since I don't fish, I'm really not concerned about that. But let's peek under the surface just for fun anyway. We are just past the city of Tahoe. There's a creek up ahead. So I saw something called General Creek on my GPS. Thought maybe it was something I could paddle up. Maybe in the spring it is, but there's the creek, what's flowing underneath the boat right there. Another reason to come to Lake Tahoe in the off season during the week. This beach only has a couple of people way down there. It's one of the few sandy beaches on Lake Tahoe. Most of the shoreline on Lake Tahoe is like walking on Legos if you're barefoot. Look at how beautiful this is. Maybe I'll explore up this creek a little bit. If I wanted to pull the boat over that little bit of a sandbar, I could probably paddle short ways, but based on my experience on the creeks that feed into Lake Tahoe so far, I don't think I'd be going very far. Now, you would think the water in these creeks are significantly warmer than Lake Tahoe. I'm about up to my ankles here, and not so much. This water is really pretty cold too. Like I mentioned, I've never seen a lake so clean, not even anything left behind or any garbage. I'm on day 4, and this is the first thing I've seen. That is a piece of plastic that probably shouldn't have been left behind on the beach. One llama. Looks like that over there is a little bit more of the popular spot to hang out at this beach, but I kind of like how secluded it is over here. So I'm gonna sit here, have a little bit of lunch, but I'm not gonna stick around too long because I've got more miles to paddle, more lake to see. Boat traffic is starting to increase a little bit here at about 3:30 in the afternoon. When I pulled up to this beach, I caught the wake of a powerboat that just went behind me, bumped my ear against my GoPro, and I lost an amethyst earring. Dug around in the gravelly sand for a short time trying to find it, but there's no way. Talk about a needle in a haystack. There's no way I'm gonna find it. But you know what? If that's the worst thing that happens to me paddling this summer, that's not a bad season. I don't want any plastic to end up in this pristine lake, so my new friend is coming with me. Luck might end. The wind is just starting to pick up a little bit, but fortunately it's a headwind, so I'm getting close to about between 7 and 8 miles right now. So I'm going to turn around pretty soon, but that wind is in just the right direction to give me a speedy return. Should be a nice little respite from the wind. We are entering Meeks Bay right here. This is Meeks Bay, just when I think the lake can't get any more beautiful. These waters look tropical. I'm at 8 miles. I was going to turn around at 8 miles, but I just want to go another half a mile. It's probably about 4 o'clock. I don't want to risk being out here in the wind and taking way longer than I anticipate to get back, so just another half mile, and then I'll turn around. The far end of Meeks Bay, it'll be about 2 hours, 25 minutes. Some of that was goofing around and at a leisurely pace. But I've got dinner plans at 7 o'clock, and it's about 4:45 now. So we're not going to be goofing off on the way back. I'm going to be hightailing it and not putting my paddle down at all. But I have a little bit of wind now, and it's a tailwind, and it should be smooth sailing all the way back to Tahoe City. As you just heard, I've got 16 miles in. I've got about a mile or two to go before I get to launch. On my way out to Meeks Bay was awesome, but the wind picked up just enough from the west to make me not want to be that far from shore, and I'd rather have the calm water close to the west shore than be out there and be kind of chilly. So temperature has dropped down to 64 degrees. I threw a light jacket on over my PFD, which probably you should be wearing PFD outside of the jacket, but whatever. At least I'm wearing it. Approached these two things sticking out of the water, which I assume were rocks. And as I approached and got closer, I realized there are two heads sticking out of these 62-degree waters. And it was two fairly young women. And I said, "Isn't that kind of brisk?" I said, "Yeah, that's why we're doing it. It's good for you." Somebody explained to me why immersing your body in waters that temperature is good for you. Because if I'm really chilly and kind of wet when I get back, there's nothing more than I would want to do than take a nice long hot shower. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Time, 5 hours, 18 minutes, 54 seconds. Total, distance, 20 1.0 miles. Average pace 15 minutes.
So, set out to do more than 15, and I went 8.5 miles away, so but I took the expressway out. I got back at 18 miles, and I thought, well, there's still enough light out for me to go a mile past the launch. So I pushed it a little bit for daylight, if you can tell. But 3 miles is the most I've done in a day all season. It's 7:26, and I've been paddling since about 1 o'clock. I've only had a protein bar and some water since, and I'm really hungry. I'm exhausted. I'll see you tomorrow.